All right, we will get this party started right now.
Yes.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 117 of Ghosts in the Night, a hauntings and paranormal podcast. I am Phil, and as always, Travis is to my left.
What's up?
Bitches. No, we are going to talk about the Winchester Mystery House.
Ooh,
And I'm
spoopy.
Travis is the expert on this, or maybe not expert, but he knows the hell.
Travis just sat in front of a laptop for knew about it already, and then wrote a bunch of shit down,
Well, he knows a whole hell of a lot more about it than I do.
which we kind of left that way because I was shocked that I found something in the paranormal realm that's very well known and very talked about that you didn't really know shit about when I brought it up.
Well, I'm not perfect.
I
I
disagree.
mean, I'm close, but I'm not totally perfect. But Travis is going to take the lead on this one, and I'm going to sit back and, throw my 2 cents worth in every now and then. But before we get to that, let's kind of go over a little business. And I got a little story I want to tell.
He does have a story.
Which I did not tell Travis. He just knows I want to tell a story.
I cut him off so that I could react for
Yes.
all of you lovely people.
So, but the business at hand. Comments. We had some decent comments, but Papa Will commented again.
Yeah, Big Willie style's really killing it.
Man, he's a loyal listener. God love him. And in his last comment, he thanked us for the shout out. And also yesterday was his birthday, so big happy birthday shout out to him or her. I'm assuming it's a him.
If I would have known about this earlier, I would have stopped at a TGI Fridays and seen if I could get a couple of their waiters to come and do the whole sing and dance.
Oh, what a Rancho Nueve or whatever.
What?
You remember the Mexican restaurant up here?
El Rancho Nuevo?
Whatever the hell. Do I look like I'm Spanish?
You never know. I mean, look at Canelo.
Right. That's true. That's
Yeah.
a redheaded Mexican.
The palest Mexican dude ever.
But they go crazy with their shit.
Yeah, they got the little fucking spinny.
Had them
Shit.
marching through the house here. No, but happy
That'd be
birthday!
fucking tastic.
Happy birthday to him. Thank you for your loyal listenership.
Yes, happy birthday, William.
So
His name's probably fucking not even close to Will.
I don't know, Will Papa.
Will Papa.
But that is pretty much all we're going to do for the shout outs with comments. Just for the mere fact, most of
happy anniversary to Sydney and Kyle. You guys are so cute.
Yes, they are. Now let's get to my story.
Story time.
Story
time with Phil.
I was going to Walmart today to get the cable to try to hardwire this shit in. So
The amusement park of stores.
yes, no, it was the haunted house, the horror show of stores. Really,
It's like if they had a discount day at Disney.
Jesus.
That's what walking around fucking Walmart is like.
Yes, but I was going there to get the cable to hardwire this shit in, so we wouldn't have a repeat of Thursdays where YouTube boots us off. Which
We just got butt fucked by technology.
Which, on a side note, I find it kind of funny. We were bad mouthing L. Ron Hubbard, and
We weren't really bad mouthing.
But-
Everything that we stated was factual.
yes, but those Scientologists, they get pissy, and about a minute or two after we were talking about that, the live stream dropped off completely.
We should hit up Leah Ramini and get her on our side.
Here's what I think happened. Tom Cruise came down through the ventilator system down there at Silicon Valley.
That's James Bond. What the fuck?
Dun, 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 dun,
Dun, dun, dun.
He cut our feed because we were bad-mouthing his Lord and Savior, Ron Hubbard.
He held his breath for an abnormal amount of time
Yes,
and then failed to open the door.
yes. But anyway, getting back to my story. I was going to Walmart, which is a cryptid. You see cryptids there all the time. But I was driving down Grand Avenue in Hamilton, and anybody knows about Hamilton, it can be interesting.
Yeah.
You see some weird shit.
Oh, Hamiltucky.
But I know it was a dire wolf. It was a fucking wolf. Just walking down the street. And here's the kicker. It was on a leash and some mutant was walking it. I almost pulled over and said, "Dude, why are you walking a fucking wolf?" It was white, dingy, and the size of a fucking Great Dane. But it looked like a wolf.
Oh, Irish Wolfhound.
I don't think so. It was the biggest freaking dog.
Yeah, they're bigger than Great Danes.
But it dirty, looked like it just came
Yeah,
out
it
of...
just kind of looks like their fur just it's like halfway between hair and like wool.
It was white, dirty white. I mean, it looked like it...
Yeah, it's probably a wolfhound.
Oh my god!
'Cause I remember the first time I saw it, and I was like, "What the fuck is that thing? That's not a dog. That's a fucking scaffolding that lives."
Don't piss on my parade. I saw a cryptid in person today, walking on the sidewalk with a leash by a mutant.
Mutant. The dog was less amazing than the person.
Oh well.
The person had 7 toes on 1 foot.
Sad thing, he's probably my fucking neighbor.
Yeah.
No, but that, I just was like, that is the biggest damn dog.
If it
I've
was a
ever seen.
wolfhound, they're fucking huge. It's basically it's like a Great Dane with that with a almost more of like a greyhoundy shaped face, and they just look like dirty, unkept, homeless people.
Right.
Yeah, they're fucking huge.
If they would have walked and sat down in a cardboard box, I would not surprise me. Of course, it'd have to be a big ass cardboard box to fit the dog.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I know like some musician that I know I think has one, like maybe Sid from Slipknot. Maybe.
I don't know.
But they're fucking gigantic.
Gigantic. Just one quick thing. If you're listening on YouTube on the live stream, let me know. Leave in the comments about the audio. We had some audio problems last week or Thursday as well, so be sure to comment if you can't hear a damn thing we're saying. I've greatly appreciated it. So we're going to start with this.
Well, we can answer that question. We got audio.
Yeah, we got audio. We're good. We don't need you fuckers now.
I'm a strong, independent woman.
Who said that?
We have 4 viewers. No. I don't need this. Get away from me. Don't tell me what to do, YouTube. I'm grown.
Well, while he's doing that, let's go ahead and start the episode. We'll cut the bullshit and get right to it.
I mean, the whole episode, everything we do is fucking bullshit, really.
Yes.
So we're going to extend the bullshit.
Right.
It's just going to have somewhat of a point to it.
Okay, the Winchester Mystery House, which is a house built by Sarah Winchester in, I believe, the Santa Clara Valley, which is it's close to San Francisco, right?
Sure.
We'll go with that. And
I didn't really go that far into the physical location.
Right. Well, Time Magazine, I believe, even said this was one of the most haunted locations in the world, which I was not aware. Because Time Magazine, didn't Time Magazine vote Hitler Man of the Year in, 39?
Probably. Yeah, I know he was. I don't know what year.
Yeah, so their credibility, that should have shot their credibility right there.
Well, I mean, I say all the time, the only thing I can give him is, like, if he wasn't so crazy and didn't have such fucked up ideals, not many people have effectively taken control of a country as fast as he has.
Right, that is true.
I'll give him just that, minus all the anti-Semitism,
right,
and the micro penis having. It's a 9999.
But my point is, I don't believe Time Magazine is who you want to get your paranormal information from.
Yeah, they don't seem to be like a hub of paranormal information.
Right. Now, this is a crazy-ass house. Now, the house has several rooms, 600 and some odd rooms now. Now, she bought this house. It was a smaller house, and we'll kind of get into what happened, but she started renovating it immediately.
8 rooms total.
Right.
I believe when she first bought it.
Now, and then this crazy...
and that's including, like, living room, like, living areas, shit like that.
But...
Motherfucker.
Currently, it has doors that open to walls.
Oh yeah, I go balls deep into all that.
Stairs to nowhere. Wasn't that a song? Stair to Nowhere, not Stairway to Heaven, but maybe that's what she was trying. Maybe that's where.
Well, now they're finding stairs to nowhere in the middle of the woods.
Oh shit!
Oh, you haven't heard about that?
No, I haven't heard.
Oh yeah, like park rangers and shit. Apparently, are finding them in like heard one story of like a rookie guy that was out on a patrol and like they came across one and he was like, oh, and went to look at it and investigate it, and the lady or person that was training him was like, we keep moving.
Right. But this house is crazy. She started renovating it for a reason, which I'm sure you'll get into. As soon as she purchased it, and she even has a room dedicated to seances.
Yes, she does.
Which is, that's just batshit crazy in and among itself. And there is a thought that maybe this house is cursed, which is for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
She did kind of talk to a psychic medium who, those are always trustworthy.
One from Boston.
Well, at the time, I think she was living. But anyway, she was married to she inherited from her late husband who died of tuberculosis.
Yeah.
The Winchester fortune, which those of you who don't know who Winchester is, they make guns. And apparently the psychic medium told her that all the dead people that her husband's guns killed are pissed off, got a raging boner for her, and they're going to kill her unless she buys a house and renovates it all the time.
Yes.
For them.
Because that's how that works.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Seems reasonable.
Like,
And there is a lot of reported activity, ghosts, apparitions, shadow figures, disembodied voices, and naturally footsteps.
Oh, well, yeah.
Which at some point I will give my thoughts on this.
Yes, you will.
This thing, but that is pretty much what this place is about. Hell, even Houdini visited this place.
Yeah, I touch on that in here.
Okay, after her death, which,
Shortly after, not long after.
Yeah, just right after her death.
Yeah.
But that is what the Winchester Mystery House is all about. Travis is going to enlighten us with his docile tones of this fascinating, interesting.
It's basically going to be a potentially haunted house version of what is it? What was Bob Ross's painting show called?
What was the fuck?
Right?
Oh my God. I don't know. Just wasn't.
If you know, please feel free to comment.
Leave it in the comments. Happy little trees.
Yeah. He said, "There's no mistakes. We're just gonna you can do whatever you want. We're just gonna put a mountain over here, which it doesn't look like a mountain until I take this putty knife and then I go 3 times, and then you go, oh, now I see it. It's it went from a green sheet to now that you've passed over it twice with a paintbrush and once with a knife. It is now a majestic fucking mountainscape with a cabin, a river, and fucking 73 small children playing in a field."
Right.
That aren't really there because they're ghosts ring around the rosy pocket full of fucking posies.
Bob Ross is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I love the fro.
I used to have a Bob Ross shirt of him just painting and smiling, and it said happy trees in high school. My dad was like, I know what that means. I was like, yeah, so does fucking everybody else, Dad. I'm not like...
Even though there are no mistakes kind of thing.
Yeah.
Bullshit. You obviously haven't seen some of the women I dated in my past.
All right.
That's
Jesus Christ.
loaded with mistakes.
I remember the couple episodes where his son painted and hosted.
I didn't get that far into his ass.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He also talked about squirrels for like fucking ever. See, the Snapchat idea was a good idea.
Why?
I've been screenshotted and I've gotten responses from several people so far.
Oh.
I don't know why the fuck I didn't do it earlier.
What the hell are you thinking? Well, hey.
Well, I thought about starting one for the podcast, but Brohio did it, and apparently they just get a bunch of dick pics.
Nice. Okay. Hey, I got an idea.
Ideas.
Why don't you get this party started and enlighten us about the Winchester Mystery House?
Alrighty then. Now, the Winchester Mystery House is located in San Jose, California. Let's get into this. As he said, this was the home of Sarah Winchester, who, I'm sure you pick up on it from the name, she married, what's his fucking stupid name? William Wirt Winchester.
Right.
W-I-R-T. Stupidest fucking middle name in the world.
Well, back in those days,
They have a Wirt? I've never heard that one.
Really? Like Ulysses? It's
better than Wirt or Weird. I don't know how. I didn't see a pronunciation because it's that stupid. I'm just kidding. R.I.P. I don't want to. So anyway, Sarah Winfield was married to William Winchester. God damn it. Sarah Winchester was married to William Winchester. William Winchester unfortunately passed away of the tuberculosis. So, therefore, Sarah Winchester inherits his fortune, which at the time she inherited $20.5 million. And I don't remember exactly what year this was. It was in the late 1800s,
Yeah,
but
'cause
not,
he was- I
not
think he-
exceptionally late.
I think he was only 43.
Yeah. But which, if as of 2019, when I saw this research, equates to $543 million. On top of which is what I wrote down when I got back here, she also got 50% ownership, which was an earning of about $1,000 a day back then, which is equal to about $26,000 every day now.
I could live on that shit.
No shit. I could work for one day and live on that
Let's
shit.
just say this podcast would be done from Nashville
Yeah. This podcast will be done from Dubai.
with hookers all around me. Hookers and below, baby. Hookers and below.
I'm good on both. I'll just take juice boxes and... Yeah, I'm good with juice boxes, actually.
Okay.
We'll just stop there. So, anyway, more on the Winchester thing. Sure, anybody who's listening to this who knows stuff about stuff, clearly it is the Winchester Repeating Rifle Company or whatever the fuck it was. Repeating Arms Company.
The rifle that won the West.
Yes. The first repeating rifle, because before that it was muskets
Right.
and the occasional revolver pistol.
Right.
So, yeah. So, anyway, she comes from clearly very humble beginnings. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's basically like, never mind, we're not going to go there.
Well, she was short.
I mean, wasn't everybody back then? Weren't they still pygmies?
No.
I thought people didn't reach over 5 feet until 1927.
Where are you getting your history? They were just
Mad Magazine.
They were just anorexic because they couldn't eat.
Pass the corn kernel. I want a bite. Anyway, so she inherits this massive amount of money after her husband dies of tuberculosis, and then because she is who she is, she's a little fucking crazy. We'll find this
The
out.
original gold digger. Did he really have tuberculosis? Think about it. Things that make you go,
Goes to Sarah Winchester on the Jerry Springer Show. Make it happen. So anyway, we'll get into her being possibly a little crazy, possibly some other shit going on. We'll let you be the judge of that. But so she goes into Boston and she sees a Baston. She goes into Baston. And she sees a medium who, through channeling her dead husband, fuck off, told her to leave New Haven, where she lived, which I believe is in Connecticut.
Right.
Connecticut.
I think so. If I had to guess, yes.
Yeah, I believe so. And she said to go west. That's it. Which she also, let me add, this was after not only did her husband die of TB, which, I mean, that fucking sucks. I'm not going to, you know what I mean? That blows. Even whether you're crazy or not, like, that fucking sucks.
That'd be a horrible way to die.
Yeah. And then on top of that, their infant daughter died as well of marasmus, which, just because I didn't know what the fuck it was, it didn't look too far into it, as a children's disease in which the body just wastes away. So that's fucking awful
if
as
I'm
well.
not mistaken, your body can't take in calories and protein.
That's fucking terrible.
So you just wither away to nothing.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fucked up, and I like to make jokes about fucked up shit, but that's fucking terrible.
I'm sure
I'd go crazy after watching that happen too.
I'm sure in our vast listeners, there's a medical professional saying,
Lydia,
"This dumb motherfucker doesn't know what he's talking about."
Lydia, tell me of the marasmus. I don't even know if she's watching, but yeah, I mean, like, who wouldn't be a little fucking bad shit after that? You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know if there's any comments that are not coming up on mine.
No, I'm not getting. I don't think we're getting any.
But yeah, so like, man, after that, like I said, I'm a fucked up person. But you watch your kid just waste away to nothing and die, you're gonna be fucking sad and lonely and a little crazy.
Well, and what little research I did do for this episode, because I'm a lazy fuck, I did read, or something that the death of their daughter, they said we're not doing it again. That's why they never had any more kids.
I mean, why would you? Like, I see both sides, but I 100% could understand why you wouldn't want to do that.
Right.
Like, that's just, like, That's fucked. So anyway, baby dies, husband dies. So the medium, fucking from Baston, fucking Baston, tells her to go west.
Right.
From what I read, that's all she said. Just go west. Anywhere not east. So anyway, she goes west and she just fucking travels. I believe I saw something where she visited like her cousin or her sister or some shit at one point. And then she ends up landing in San Jose, California in 1884 and purchasing an unfinished farmhouse in the Santa Clara Valley that sat on 162 acres of land.
That's a lot of land.
Yeah, I forget. I didn't write down what she purchased it for, but like it looks small, but when you do the inflation, it was obviously fucking an astronomical amount of money.
That much acreage for a smaller 8-room house?
It was a farmhouse.
Oh, okay.
When she bought it.
Okay.
That's why it was just a normal fucking house, like on a farm. And so yeah. Buys it in 1884, almost immediately starts building on and adding on to the house and doing construction and renovation, which, you know, obviously she's worth 400, 500 fucking $1 million. Why would you not?
Right.
Clearly you're not used to living in a normal people house at that point in your life. So, but she keeps building onto this home to live in and confuse and hide from the spirits that she's running from, according to this medium, which are the spirits of the people who were slain by Winchester rifles.
Right. So,
which, if that's true, that's probably a fuckload of people. Like the population of like Cleveland following you around.
Right,
Just like,
Hey, hi,
but
hi, fuck you.
it's so much BS because you've never heard of Smith & Wesson, one of those two douchebags.
Right.
Here in
Remington,
Browning,
Browning,
Ruger.
freaking
So
Beretta. I don't know if that's an
why
actual
are we all
family.
worried about this Second Amendment bullshit?
I don't know, man.
The
Because
spirit
she, I mean, the further we get into this, like, we'll see. She's a little nuts.
No.
She just be like that. It be like that.
Okay, continue.
So anyway, so she starts construction on this unplanned, unblueprinted. She's just kind of making it up as she goes, doing her own thing, whatever she fucking feels like, because she's trying. Her goal is to make the house a confusing, just thing where she can hide from these spirits and they can't find her, or she can just kind of duck off and then she's gone. Which I don't think it fucking works like that.
No,
I'm pretty sure that spirits are not held to the constructs and the constrictions of our mortal realm. Call me fucking crazy. I'm pretty sure they could just walk through walls. You think if they walk through walls, they leave a little ectoplasm on the one side? Ectoplasm. It's such a good word.
No, I don't think so.
I heard about that with the fake seances back in the day. They'd put fucking like make ectoplasm and like ingest it and then just
We know what that was.
Yeah. It's semen.
White and creamy.
So anyway,
high in protein.
Yeah. So she does this, and on top of that, she does it to the extent that she is paying in shifts workers to work around the clock pretty much from the time she purchased the home until she died in 1922. There was almost continuous construction at all times on holidays for how long is that? 22 plus 60, 38 years? 38 years of construction. What the fuck?
You know, everybody gets frustrated with contractors, right? Everybody. And if you've ever hired a contractor, you get frustrated with them.
Yeah.
Now, them some bitches were there 24 hours a day
In shifts.
in shifts.
Mm-hmm. And I'd imagine you got to be. I would assume you're talking about multiple contractors at one time, depending on the time, especially at the beginning.
And they're
when she's got these big grandiose ideas, you know what I'm saying?
They're gonna be hammering, nailing.
Oh yeah, neighbors. Like I saw, neighbors said like they could hear them doing work in the middle of the night.
I mean,
from that house.
Did she not sleep?
I mean, once you get to the point where we'll talk about later how big this fucking house got,
right? Okay.
Then I don't think that's gonna matter. So next page. Allow for page turn. Because Travi has about 6 pages of this shit. And my page stopped Okay. As of now, we're going to jump into the future just so we can kind of wrap our heads around this whole thing. As of now, there is more than 161 rooms. They say more than 161 because apparently every time they go to try to count them, they get to the point where they get confused and they fuck up.
Okay, so she hired idiots.
No, I'm talking like today.
Okay.
Like, I don't even think the people that work there, it's basically like a museum, kind of.
Yeah.
I don't even think the people that work there can tell you exactly how many inhabitable rooms there are in this house.
Well, it is California. They can't count very high. Of course, they're the same people trying to tell
Better
you.
than Florida. That's a W joke.
2 + 2 = 5, so.
2 + 2 is 4 minus 1. That's free quick maths.
But, so.
So, yeah, 161 rooms and is 24,000 square feet.
That's a lot of square feet.
Yeah, that's like 6 big-ass houses in one house. And, fuck. So, anyway, let's get into why there was so many rooms. There were so many rooms because Sarah slept in a different bedroom every night, never repeating and staying in the same room 2 nights in a row in an effort to hide from and confuse the spirits that were following her.
Because it works that way.
Yeah, because you can't just go in and be like,
she's not here, damn it.
Where's that bitch? Like, what the fuck? This isn't Scooby-Doo. Like, you're not running across the hallways and like coming out another door and then coming out the door in the front and leaving the fucking back door and like it doesn't fucking work like that, Sarah. I'm sorry.
Like a Benny Hill show.
Yeah, dude. Like, your house is. She basically turned this fucking she turned this modest farmhouse into a mansion that was also a fucking Rube Goldberg machine. Like, it was like those fucking, like, it's that thing that you squish fucking pennies with at the Cincinnati Zoo. Like, anyway, don't mind me. I get off topic sometimes. So, let's get into some more stats because my stats went a little deeper than that even. So, there's 40 fucking bedrooms in this place. Just bedrooms. Because the 161 includes, like, living rooms, foyers, kitchens, shit like that. Like, just rooms, like, inhabitable rooms, not including, like, closets and shit like that.
How many bathrooms did she have?
I'll get to that.
Okay.
40 bedrooms, 40 staircases, 13 bathrooms, 6 kitchens, 10,000 window panes, 2,000 doors, 52 skylights, 47 fireplaces, 3 elevators, 2 basements, and fucking 1 operating hot water indoor plumbed shower that she used. Which was it's funny, but it was fucking like some life-changing like shit. Not many people had that at the time.
That was state of the art.
Yeah,
because
I get into that too. She had a lot of stuff that was
well,
she was very ahead of her time. I'll give her that. Like, she knew her shit while she was doing it, so she wasn't all the way bad shit.
Well, she had to, a lot of this shit, from what I read, she had rheumatoid arthritis really bad.
Yes.
And she could not step into a bathtub.
Yeah, I saw something, she could only lift each of her feet like 2 inches off the floor.
Right.
Because she also had to go back and rebuild a bunch of stairs because most of the staircases were like abnormally tall and awkwardly steep.
Right.
Because once again, a ghost can't walk up and down a fucking steep, awkward staircase. Because see, that's my other thing is, like, are you hearing footsteps or are you just hearing a fucking Sergeant fucking Philly Bob from fucking the Northern Regiment or whatever the fuck that got killed by one of your rifles? He's like, I'm gonna find this bitch, fuck, and does that thing where you like miss the step and then like you go down and you feel stupid and then you look around and make sure nobody's there even though you're a ghost and nobody can fucking see you anyway. Like, I don't understand like why. The biggest thing for me was like, why do the limitations of normal human life have to do with fucking ghosts whatsoever?
Right.
But that's just me fucking being crazy. So, amongst all of this crazy shit, like Phil said, staircases to nowhere, doors leading to nothing, or other doors. Like door. Skylights above skylights.
Double skylights.
That's next level shit right there, I think. Just weird stuff like that, dude. Or there was one door that you open this door and it leads to a 2-story free fall, just into like a courtyard of the yard or some shit.
You know what? This would be bad for me to live in.
Dude, it's literally like, it's if Scooby-Doo, the whole cast of Scooby-Doo, all fucked Wile E. Coyote and made a child with him, this is the house that it would live in. It's like, which also, this was the inspiration for Disney's Haunted Mansion.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, Walt was...
I don't fucking know. I had Eddie Murphy in it. I watched it like one time. It was,
I
was a
don't think
movie.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Apparently, I guess it's a ride at Disney.
It's
Yeah.
It's Disneyland.
Yeah, so...
I'm a little old for that shit. And I'm not a loser.
I don't know. I mean,
You know
if I smoked enough weed, I would love to go to Disney at any time.
Let's get off topic. Just for a second.
Yes!
Disneyland. You know, if you... Facebook,
Is it anti-Semitic?
I don't know.
Because Walt Disney sure as fuck was.
Well, he supported the Nazis, but that's a topic. Now, what I'm saying is, if you follow people on Facebook, which I'm old. I'm one of those old geezers that have screwed Facebook for the young people. But I have people that are friends with me that love them some Disneyland.
Yeah.
We're talking adults in their 40.
Yeah, I know plenty. Like, I mean, it's one of those things, man. Like, it's a little strange, but, like, I get it. I mean, I still love Pokemon. Like,
I'm not spending thousands upon thousands of dollars to go rub butts with a freaking mouse.
yeah, I mean, if you have kids, I 100% get it. You know what I mean? Especially if you have that crossover of your kids love it and you grew up loving it. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I can I'll just to annoy people, put on Disney radio at work and just be back there just like, I just can't wait to be king. Like, yeah, I can sing all that shit because, you know, I was a kid in the 90s.
No, I just don't get it. I mean,
I'm not that balls
need a
deep
life.
into it. Like I think the last new Disney movie I watched was I was gonna say Moana. It's actually not. I forget what it's called. It came out when they put out Disney Plus, and it was actually a pretty good movie for real. I'm not gonna lie.
But Disney, the amusement park, the rides suck major balls.
No, you go to Florida and you do it right, and you go there and go and then you go to fucking Universal because Universal's sick.
Right, but
Oh my God, have you been to Universal?
I haven't been to it. What was it? I think Universal. It was like 92 the last time I did that.
I don't know. Like, I remember at Universal, we did the Jaws thing where they got the big fake shark that comes out. The King Kong ride where you're like, holy fuck, it's Kong. Like,
I mean, but when I was down there in 92, I was a freshman in college.
yeah.
Went with my mother and somebody.
Yeah, I think I was like 13 when I went.
I walked through this. I was like, this is freaking Kidney Lane at Kings Island.
Yeah, like
That's
I
all it
remember,
is.
I went to Disney. I want to say I was 13, maybe 14. I went late to Disney and shit, but like we went and like it was cool. You know what I mean? Like especially for never having been there. You know, like all that little row with all the shops and shit at Disney. Like it's cool. I bought some stuff. Bought like a Goofy baseball jersey. It was actually kind of cool.
I mean,
because I always loved Goofy. Like but not fat.
I was so bored I had to throat punch Mickey Mouse
That's amazing.
just to amuse myself. That poor little girl didn't know what was coming.
I don't know. I did tell one of them that like they kept fucking following me. I was like, get the fuck away from me. I was like, go bother the 6-year-olds. Like I'm just trying to get a piece of pizza and then go ride the couple good rides. Because I will say, is Tower of Terror at Disney? Because that shit was cool.
I don't know. Okay, let's get back on.
Okay, back to the topic at hand. How to perform fellatio on your man. Yes. Oh.
Well, that just cost me a lot of money. I just spit up all over the mixer.
Oh, did you really?
No, I think I missed. Oh, God. Okay, continue.
See what happens when I really go off the cuff? That was unplanned. All right. Where was I? So shitloads of rooms, all that shit, stairways to nowhere, all the most just stupid, unexplainable shit. And which brings me to this other one, which I'm going to have to flip for because I have it on a couple different pages. She, as you will know if you've ever watched it or anything like that, she has this thing with seances. which in my mind would be in connection to the occult
Well,
or witchcraft.
no, here's the thing with seance.
Back then.
But no, back then, that was in the start.
Yeah,
of
I guess it was like the cool shit back
But
then. Like they used to have those were like events back then.
Well, it started with it's the start of spiritualism, which started toward after the Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
Just for the mere fact, all these people lost so many loved ones, and they wanted to reach out. They wanted to connect
Yeah.
to them in the spirit world, and this was that time. So, no, it's stupid, and it doesn't work that way. And you get a lot of shysters like this psychic medium that play off that.
Yeah. It
So you
ended
got a lot
up
of
fucking
bullshit.
spending pretty
Right.
much all of Sarah Winchester's money over
Right,
the
but
rest of her life.
it's just people. It's people grieving
Yeah.
over the traumatic thing, that traumatic time in our country's history.
Well, and then it's like I said, this was because it gets weird with the fact that she had a seance room, which I'll get into later. I have a little bit of information about that, but she had this like unhealthy obsession with the number 13. And I have some examples. For one, there was 13 bathrooms. The walls had 13 panels. Windows contained 13 panes of glass. There was 13 cupolas in the greenhouse. Most stairways had 13 steps. There was 13 hooks in the seance room. And then I have more on that back here somewhere. 13 overflow drain holes in the sink in the Hall of Fires, which is literally the only time I saw a Hall of Fires anywhere, so I don't know what the fuck's going on with that. And there's 13 parts to her will, which she signed 13 times.
So she was crazy.
I think we've pretty much established that one already.
Okay.
But wait, there's more.
There's more.
So this one just I thought was funny because this house is still so mysterious to people somehow. Like it's crazy. Like they basically have to do like fucking echolocation or some shit. Like fucking what's that shit where they like fucking do that seismic shit to like map out stuff underground, that shit. Because this one made me laugh a little bit. 17 chimneys with evidence of 2 more. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I can see how they lose shit because she was, from what I heard, she would start a project
And just stop.
and stop and tell them
Yeah.
to go something different.
Yeah.
So things get boarded up. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because there's even a part where I forget what the reasoning was exactly, but like she had them board up a whole part of this house so that they could not work there to leave it incomplete as it was. And they also are still finding shit. Like they're still finding rooms and ways into rooms and shit like that. Or like they found a hidden safe in one of the rooms and all that had in it was a lock, 2 locks of hair, one from her husband, one from her kid.
Yeah.
Which that one, I don't know what they did with it, but if they're not fucking pieces of shit, you just put that back.
Right.
Let that remain with the house.
I agree. I concur.
Yeah. So anyway, other awesome fucking fact here, she had goddamn hidden passages.
That is the coolest shit ever.
That's what I'm saying, dude. She's literally living in Scooby-Doo land. It's the fucking best thing ever. Could you imagine I'd like walk out this door and next thing you know I'm at like fucking Cole and Melanie's house. I'm like, hello. Like she's basically fucking Gru from Despicable Me. Like, you know, that stupid fucking house in that movie and like there's all kinds of crazy shit going on.
Right.
Or the laboratory in the backyard of Cotty with the Mischance and Meatballs where Flint Lockwood made the flims differ.
Okay, now you've lost me.
It's one of my favorite kids movies. It's just so stupid and funny,
but
dude.
secret passages are
That's
awesome.
fucking sick. Which I would imagine. I think I saw something. I don't remember 100%, or if they knew for a fact that it was this. But like, I would assume there's fucking like trap doors or hidden doors, like the ones where you like pull the one book out of the shelf and who dat? Paulette Reynolds. Paulette Reynolds is listening. Hello, Paulette.
That is my mother, by the way. Say
Hi.
you got to clean it up now. Mom's listening.
Let me get it out of the way. Fuck shit, fuck ass, bitch. Anyway, why did I freeze? Oh no, I didn't freeze. I was just looking at you because that's your mom. Hey, Phil's mom. Anyway, we're talking about the love and light of Jesus today. and how great it is and how it leads us down the path of prosperity
Just
and
get
happiness.
to the story. We
Okay,
trap
so, like,
doors.
the other-
Trap doors.
It's just sick. Like that's what I just wrote down. Like you have hidden passages and
Oh,
shit. That's fucking awesome, dude.
But what? I mean, how?
Where do they go? I never saw where like the entrance to one was and where it ended up.
Right. But here's my thing. That was the house that big,
They're not secret passages. They're just shortcuts.
right? But you think you get lost real easily.
That was the point.
Yeah, but even her, or say I lived in that house.
Uh-huh.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, she couldn't have been totally batshit crazy because her memory had to be pretty good. Because, like, my next fact here, there was one working toilet in that whole house.
600 rooms and one working toilet.
And it was because the other toilets were most of the other bathrooms. There was the one toilet and the one functioning hot water shower, which again MTV Cribs shit back then. And it was everything else, like the whole house, other than her using spaces to live in at certain times and do certain things,
Right.
was a decoy to fuck with these ghosts so that they couldn't find her and be in the bear. Too late. Anyways, this one too. I just thought this was funny. There's a ladder that just goes into the ceiling.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, because there's stairs that go into just the ceiling of that floor. You know what I mean? Why not a fucking ladder? Let's just hang a.
I mean, here's the thing. I have a question. What's the odds she was toking on the opium a little too much?
She's doing something.
I mean,
Because, like, don't get me wrong. Like I said earlier, like, what she had to go through between her husband and her kid was fucking terrible. And
Yeah.
I wouldn't even want to. I don't even have kids, and I couldn't and don't want to imagine what that's like.
right.
But I would also agree that there's probably a pretty good chance. Or maybe she drank a shitload of that good old Coke. The good Coke.
The good Coke.
With the cocaines in it. Or like anything. I mean, like, yeah, like you said, like fucking heroin and opium was a fucking medicine back then. Meth was a medicine back then. Like, she could have been on just there could have been an onslaught of fucking drug intake into her body.
Especially having rheumatoid arthritis, which is very
really
painful.
bad.
So she was on some shit.
Yeah.
I guarantee it. So
Yeah, she had to be.
she was
Because from what I read, like, she wasn't a particularly like shitty, unpleasant person to be around.
right.
So if you have like, I know, like, my old manager, I don't know if you ever met Lamont.
I don't think so.
Lamont's not even that. Lamont's younger than you, and he's got rheumatoid arthritis, and it had him. Still does, but like there for a period, it got real bad. He was fucked up, dude.
Man. So it's painful. I mean,
Yeah.
So there's no doubt she was on some.
And it's like uncontrollably painful, where like it just happens.
Right.
Like, you could be like opening a jar, and next thing you know, your whole fucking arm is just in searing pain. So
Right.
like, yeah, she was probably on something. She had to be on something, whether it be opium or fucking, I don't know. If she had syphilis, probably mercury. Like, yeah,
I mean, but that plays. I think that has to be taken into account to
yeah,
this house.
yeah.
and
Like,
her
I
actions.
definitely think she might have been a little crazy, but like, yeah, she was probably almost definitely on some type of a mind-altering medication.
Right.
Anyway, so this one was cool too. This one actually, like, it's random as shit, and it does. I don't think it really adds to the feng shui of the home, but I love this. There was a zigzag staircase with 7 deviations, 44 steps, and it only went up 3 meters. So what, like 9 feet, 8-9 feet?
Mm-hmm.
So you have a zigzag staircase that zigzags 7 times, has 44 steps, and only goes up about 8 or 9 feet. Yeah, because I also saw most of the staircases, almost all the staircases had, or a very good number of the staircases had 13 steps specifically, except for this one, a handful of other ones, and I believe there was a spiral staircase,
Right.
which was in the, there's like a tower for no fucking reason.
Right.
Because at one point, this house was 7 stories tall.
Right. I did hear that up until that.
7 stories. It's not anymore. We'll get into that.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyway, more facts, because I'm, like I told you earlier, the facts of this home and this case are what makes it so interesting to me, because they're very well documented. it was built with redwood. That was her preference, but she did not like how it looked. Therefore, 20,500 gallons of paint is what it takes to cover the surfaces of the interior of this fucking house. Yeah. Between that and she also had them do like faux grains on some stuff and shit like that. Because if you really look into some of these pictures, some of these rooms are, the whole house really, for as haphazard and crazy as it is fucking gorgeous inside and out. It's beautiful. But, you know, you gotta have fun buying that house and going to Home Depot and getting 20,000 gallons of paint to paint that bitch.
That's going to be a really pissed off worker.
Could you imagine? Right. Like you don't even go to Home Depot. You just go to, I don't know, does Sherwin-Williams like actually produce paint?
I don't know.
You would have to go to a production facility for that. Like that's, who wants to do that?
That lady at Home Depot in the paint department is working some overtime.
Yeah. Right. The unusually steep stairs that she had to fucking fix anyway because of her arthritis. And some of the things that were rare for the time, like we were talking about before, because as crazy as this chick was, she was kind of an innovator in interior design and the workings of a home.
Well, $500 million will do that to a person.
Plus $26,000 a day. Like, fuck, dude. Are you shitting me? That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, here's some of the interesting things that were kind of groundbreaking, because there was this theory that people said that she had patents for stuff that she did. Apparently you can search it with the patent office and fucking nothing comes up. So that's out the door. Fuck you. So she had steam and forced air heating. Yeah. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, we still use forced air heating. She had modern indoor toilets. Well, one, I guess. The other one, just how many times do you think a worker was in there working on something and took a shit in a toilet that didn't work, like he was in the middle of Lowe's?
that would suck.
That house must have it had to happen. I guarantee you she took a shit in a toilet that wasn't a real toilet at least once.
Well, with that many bathrooms, that only one that
That's
works.
what I'm saying. Like,
how
what
do you
happens
know?
when you eat ye old Taco Bell and you got the shits and you just like, there's one, and the next thing you know, you just paint the bowl and like, oh fuck.
Whoops.
You just close the lid and just shut the door behind you like, oh, nobody's ever going to fucking walk into this bathroom for the next 5 years anyway.
That explains why she boarded some of the rooms up. Maybe they were bathrooms. The poop bathrooms.
The poop bathrooms. Oh. So anyway, this one I thought was really cool. Push button gas lights. So she could just like, ding, and the light would ignite itself. Which also, the estate had its own gas production facility on site to fuel all of the gas fixtures in this home.
Oh, this sucker's just rubbing everybody's nose.
Yeah.
How rich she is now.
Yeah. Well, which, like I said, is kind of crazy because I saw that on that one article that like she was not an unpleasant person. Although I did also read that, we talked about this, I read that she wore a veil all the time, and if one of the workers or one of her servants or whatever the fuck you want to call them saw her without her veil, they were fired. But I think I saw maybe 2 pictures of her with a veil on, ever.
Right.
And on top of that, I also read that, like, the neighbors loved her. They thought she was fucking crazy and weird, and some of them thought she was a witch, but, like, she would let the neighborhood kids come and play in the courtyard and play her piano, and she'd fucking give them ice cream and shit. Like, most of the employees and construction workers apparently liked working for her. She was nice.
Oh, yeah, they loved her until they were at the block party down the street saying, "What's this crazy bitch doing?"
Right.
Behind her back. Oh, and then the banging of the nails and hammers and shit at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
You know she's a nice old lady. Bullshit. Some guy was cussing her ass out.
Yeah, and then there's more of these just like cool things for the time period because I find this part actually really interesting. One of the 3 elevators was powered by a rare horizontal hydraulic elevator piston, which most are vertical to save space, but Sarah preferred the improved functionality of this. So like she knew her shit. She actually looked into all this stuff. It's fucking crazy, dude. What else do we have? These 2 are funny to me. She had I can't remember, it was Pacific something, had a custom spiderweb stained glass window with her favorite web design
But
that she never used. She never installed anywhere. It was custom made for her. She never had it used. Now, here's the one you're probably thinking of. She also had a custom made Tiffany window that was, as far as I know, planned and basically put together by whatever Tiffany, I can't remember his first name, but the man who owned the Tiffany company at the time, the Tiffany that was in charge of the whole thing, who had, can't remember what it is, a stupid fucking middle name too. It wasn't even a middle name. It was just a fucking word.
Get off the middle names. Get over it.
But that one was specifically made so that when light would cast through it, it would cast a rainbow onto whatever it was opposite from. It was mounted on an interior wall in a room that had no light coming into it. So he put all that time into it, and literally it never saw the light of day. Literally.
She wasn't crazy at all.
No. But a cool thing about this spiderweb window is it never got used. It ended up in what they call the 25,000 storage rooms. And they call it that because at the time of her death, or at the time of all this happening, the people who worked there theorized that the contents of these storage rooms were at least $25,000, which you can't put a price on it now because of what was in there, what could have been in there. You know what I mean? It has different value depending on where it came from, but it's at least $300,000 worth of just shit that she never used. So, but again, that's inestimable. So anyway, all this was going on, and the only time that this construction on this house really stopped was in 1906. There was a earthquake, like a substantial earthquake.
Oh yeah, the big one.
Yeah, which actually it trapped her in a room for several hours.
I did hear that. They had to dig her ass out.
Yeah.
Help me.
I wonder if the ghosts found her while she was in there. I bet you stayed somewhere for more than 5 minutes. We fucking got you. So, and that's when shit kind of went south. It was no longer 7 stories after that, for sure. But they do theorize that it didn't take that much damage, considering the severity of the earthquake and the dwelling that we're talking about.
Right.
And they say that because it was also built with a floating foundation, which allowed it to kind of sway a little more than a fixed
Slow dance
home.
with the earthquake.
Yeah. It's just like you hit an earthquake, the house starts creaking along to the tune of an Eric Clapton song.
The house is rocking. So if she...
Anyways,
Continue.
God, sexual connotation.
Hey, I've been good today.
Yeah. So that's when it went from 7 stories to 4 stories, which it is now.
She decided to start going out instead of up.
Yeah. Which is cheaper anyway, duh.
Well,
So
$500 million. Who gives a shit?
the only reason I know that is because when I was engaged, we looked at a house that had a 1st story master, and we were like, so is added on it? He was like, yeah. They wanted another room because they had another kid. It's cheaper to go out than up. And I was like, no shit. That makes sense.
Okay.
So anyway, so all this was going on. Continuous construction, crazy shit going on. Fucking psychopath lady, heroin, dead babies, dead husbands, stairs to nowhere.
Shit ton of money.
Yeah. Dude, there's nothing worse than crazy with a shitload of money. And this is a perfect fucking example of what happens. So anyway, Sarah Winchester ends up dying in 1922 of, I believe, in her sleep of heart failure, is what I saw. She leaves all of her possessions to her niece and personal secretary. Her niece takes everything she wants, sold the rest at a private auction. And they say that it took 6 trucks working 8-hour shifts a day for 6 weeks to remove all the furniture from this house. Yeah. I saw is argued by the Winchester's historian. Which the Winchester name just continues to roll on this because I have a feeling they're just making money off it still to this day.
Probably, yeah.
Because that's argued by the Winchester historian. fuck off. But anyway, the weird thing is in this will that she leaves everything to her niece and personal secretary. No mention of the house.
The house was never mentioned, yeah.
In anything, in any way. So that's fucking weird. And at that time, it was appraised as basically worthless because of the damage and how haphazard and how random everything was. So they said, I think somebody said like they valued it at tops at like $5,000, which was a lot of money back then, but like not for fucking this. You're basically buying Edinburgh Castle, but bigger.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, eventually it's sold at auction to a local investor for $135,000. You were fucking wrong, whoever did that fucking appraisal, to John and Mamie Brown. I love that name.
Huh?
John and Mamie Brown.
Mimi or Mamie?
Mamie. M-A-Y-M-E.
I want some of the drugs these people were on back then.
Mamie, they were on heroin.
Good one.
Fuck off. Anyway, who eventually over time they bought the house, and it is now, again, back to this Winchester making money off the whole fucking thing still. It is now owned by Winchester Investments, LLC.
Them douches.
Yeah, a privately held company representing the descendants of John and Mamie Brown. Fuck you. You're representing the Browns. You're Winchester Investments, LLC. And it's the Winchester Mansion. You're going to tell me that doesn't have something to do with Winchester Arms still? Which, like, I mean, more power to you. Make your money. I get it. But I feel like it takes away from the legitimacy of claims of paranormal activity.
Whenever I figured we're going to get into that because we are going to talk about what I think about the paranormal activity in this house eventually.
Yeah, I'm on I'm pretty much on to it's a couple things, including the hauntings and shit like that. So if you want to, we can pretty much get into the let me hit on the Houdini thing because you hit it up earlier, and then other than that, everything else can be opinion pieces and talking about the shit that people say they hear. So in 1924, 2 years after Sarah died, Houdini did a private midnight tour and a seance. And nobody knows really what happened. Obviously, it's 1924. There's not fucking cameras and recorders and shit there. They're not taking a fucking whatever the phonograph is in there with them.
So you're saying Zach Bagans wasn't there filming that shit, calling demons?
He was there in spirit, even though he wasn't physically born. That's my Zach Bagans voice.
I watched one today.
I do watch them. Like, they're entertaining. I just don't take them as, like, the word of God, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying?
He's a douche.
We'll go into that if you want to. If we're doing a Patreon, we can go into this.
Can we go to a Ghostbuster Bash session?
Well, yes, and I have a very specific, I think, Facebook battle between him and Tony Spiro. Isn't that the name of?
Oh, the Ring.
It's so fucking funny.
We will talk about that on the.
Yeah, it's so funny, man. But nobody knows what happened with the Houdini thing because obviously, like I said, it wasn't recorded or anything. But I also read that he basically went in there to try to almost say that there wasn't anything going on, to try to see if he could debunk or clarify what's going on. And from this thing that I read, all he had to say about that was that he just couldn't.
Well, Houdini was it? He was big into that shit.
Yeah,
anyway.
he was. He told his wife to continue trying to connect with him after his death.
And they even had a code word.
Mm-hmm.
They had a safe word for.
I forget what it was. Pineapples, bitch.
That way, she'd know it was him. He was connecting, or she was connecting with in the afterlife.
You know what my safe word is?
No, I don't want to know.
Never use it. So yeah, that's for all intents and purposes, minus the paranormal side of it. That's the facts on the Winchester Mystery House and Sarah Winchester.
You know, now there isn't for this being Time Magazine's one of the most haunted places in the world, there isn't a lot of documentation of hauntings outside of the standard. If it's
Not at all.
if it's going to be one of the most haunted places in the world,
Like, you should be able to Google search this and just see picture after picture,
Picture
after
after
video
picture.
after
Like-
video after recording after recording, but you don't.
like the
You actually kind of have to dive for it.
right, you have to look hard. I mean, you can go down the YouTube rabbit hole where you get a bunch of half-ass investigators,
Yeah.
doing some shit, but there's not a lot of actual evidence.
No.
Now, sure, Zach and the boys at Ghost Adventures.
I mean, they're gonna find, and not to flame them for no reason, but like it seems like they're gonna find something pretty much everywhere they go.
Well,
Which at the same time, you could make the argument that like you're gonna find something in most places if you're there in the right time anyway. So
right. But there's just, for it to be voted or thought to be one of the most haunted places in the world by Time Magazine or any organization, you better come strong with the activity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't freaking. It has to be more than a few knocks, a few footsteps, a few disembodied voices. I mean, there better be some solid not questionable, but
sorry,
things-
I'm doing my job of expanding the word.
things that really make you question or boggle your mind when it comes to the paranormal and what's
Yeah.
going on there. And there's not a lot there. Now, sure.
The most damning evidence is just he said, she said shit.
Right. I mean, the psychic mediums have been going there for a long time.
Yeah, that's my thing is like because of the stories and this, that, the other, all that shit. Like it's mediums and seances.
Right. And from what I've read, all the mediums that were there say the third floor is one of the most haunted locations.
Third floor hallway or some shit like
right,
that.
the
Yeah.
corridor, yeah.
Which
But-
I saw a picture of. Like it even like I could see it because like it's one of those ones, man, where like it's got the what do they call it when the roof's on an angle.
pitch. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's got that thing going on. It doesn't look very tall. It's got multiple rooms throughout it.
Right.
Like it looks like a place where in a movie it would be some scary shit. B, there's like a fucking bird flies by one of the 3,000 billion fucking windows in that room and you see a shadow and it's already kind of dark. It was built in the fucking 1800s into the 1900s. It's probably I would assume to this day probably not that well lit in some places.
Right. But whenever mediums get involved in this kind of shit, you have to take it with a grain of freaking salt. 'Cause I do believe that there are people that have special, empathic abilities, but come on.
Yeah,
They're-
I say it all the time. You and I have talked about it. Like I don't want to sound like a fucking tool bag, but like I just have I've always had a thing where like my peripherals go a little crazy pretty often. You know what I mean? And I just have like but I equate it to the same way of like you and I share that like we're pretty good at sizing somebody up and seeing what they're about, even without having to really talk to them for an extended period of time.
Yeah, I can spot a douchebag a mile
Yeah,
away.
like I think it all kind of is relevant to each other. I think it all kind of gets compacted into the same thing.
And I do personally believe, we're going to get sidetracked here a little bit, that I think mediums do pick up energies, and I think we all pick up energies. When the energy in a room changes, like the other night,
Yeah.
you
Mhm.
I'm
Yep.
talking where I'm going. I didn't see what happened.
Yeah.
I sensed I was looking somewhere else. I sensed the energy in the room change. I looked. And
My face is red. My
You were
ears are red.
You were getting ready to go all Chuck Norris.
Nah. I was really just, it's like I tried to tell that lady. I was just there to do my job if I needed to.
Right. But my point is, I sensed the energy in the room changed.
Yeah. Yeah, it happened. Yeah.
It wasn't that I heard or I just knew something was going on because I sensed it. And I think that's what a lot of psychic mediums or whatever, they do sense. They can't pick that up, but how they interpret it and then what BS come out of their mouth is where I get my panties all twisted. But
But you know, it's that whole thing for real to me is kind of a to each your own thing. Like I'm not one to, nor can I say like no 100% you're fucking full of shit without me being able to be there physically at the time and be like, yeah, no, you're fucking full of shit, buddy.
But I just need more than psychic mediums or Zach Baggins to tell me the place is haunted. You know?
Well, because I mean, realistically, all this shit is coming from television.
Exactly.
Like,
and money.
Yeah.
So now, with this place, you can go investigate this place, I guess.
Well, fuck, you can go tour it.
Right. But so they make more money with hyping up the activity. Ooh, that was a good one.
Yeah.
With hyping up the activity.
Oh, yeah.
So,
which again brings me back to that whole thing of Winchester Investments, LLC, owning it. Like, again, if Winchester Investments is watching this, I'm not shitting on you, but I would not put it past a company who owns a property that is known as one of the most haunted places in the nation, maybe pulling some strings to make some weird shit happen every once in a while at the right time, because why would you not? If I owned that house and it would had all that lore behind it, yeah, I would have a fucking button I could press where it would just like drop a little thing on the wall in one part of the house on the inside and be like, oh no, a knock. You know what I mean? Like, why would you not?
And I think a lot of the reported activity in this place can be
explained.
I don't want to say explained, but you have to take it into account. And
that there's stuff that is integral to the construction of this house that could easily be used or manipulated to make things happen or appear to be happening.
Or it makes it seem there could be a rational explanation for some of it, like the voices, the disembodied voices. She had an intercom type system.
Yeah. Ye old intercom.
Ye old intercom.
It was basically like the tubes they have at the fucking bank.
It was one step, above a string with a cup on it. But,
the house was found with 7 cups and 400,000 miles of string strewn about it.
But basically, it was just tubes in the walls that went to the basement and come back up.
Yeah.
So if this place is large, and if somebody's on one side of the place and somebody's on the other side of the place, and they're talking, or one person's talking, that other person could possibly that sound wave could travel through that. And that person,
and the only major argument I could see for that is if somebody looked into it, traced those lines, right. And just because there is a point where unless it's a pretty direct trip, you would have to like purposely be trying to, you know what I mean? Like depending on how many twists and turns there are in that tube or whatever the fuck it is.
Every time a turn happens, it takes away from the sound wave. But I mean,
I see what you're saying. It could 100% be used to fuck with people.
And you have to take, if you hear a disembodied voice in that location, you have to take that into account.
Yeah.
You have to weigh that in as a possibility, just like in the footsteps. What?
I hope there wasn't one in the bathroom. The one bathroom.
What about?
You would be hearing shit all day. Think about it. You got construction going 24 hours. Do you know how much? We both know construction workers. We know how they shit.
Oh yeah.
They basically shit the same way they clear their boots off before they walk into a restaurant. They just whip it everywhere. Or another thing. I wonder if I never saw anything about her remarrying, obviously, and I never saw anything about anybody other than her. It was just her and these workers and whoever worked to attend to the house.
Maybe she was giving Christmas bonuses the old-fashioned way.
That's what the tubes are for. So she could just go sprawl out in one of the 40 bedrooms of her choice and go, Richard, are you on the second story? Well, yes, madam. Come and giveth me thine dick.
I saw something where she had a system where she could push a button and it goes somewhere and a number would pop up that would tell the people who worked there where she was at in the room or in the house. Push a button, I'm on the second floor in the non-working shitter.
What is this, like fucking, what's that goddamn game all the kids are playing now? Fuck. I don't even know what it's called. I've never played it. But there's a room it's like 2 imposters and everybody else is not an imposter, and you have to do these tasks and try to like beat out the imposters and figure this shit out. And there's one room where you can track everybody. Like she's just got a security. If this was today, she would have a security guy 24 hours a day, and he'd just be sitting in a room with a big fucking dumb fucking cup of coffee, and he'd just be like, "Oh, she's on the move." Skr. 3rd floor, the second useless stairway that goes to no. Yeah, that's where she's at.
Yeah, but I just
Fuck, she's been in the fake bathroom for more than 5 minutes. Somebody get the bleach.
no, but it's like the footsteps that are heard. I think it's very possible that this house, like we talked about earlier, she had 20 some odd carpenters working for her. She pretty much designed everything.
Yeah, she did design everything.
She never had an architect working for her.
There was never a blueprint.
So now we all know carpenters, they can cut corners at times.
Mm-hmm.
So there is very possible that wood can creak. You know, it's not.
Oh yeah.
It
Well,
might
and
not
plus
be
just with
structural.
the age of the home.
Right. But the structurality of it, you know, could be off.
Structurality, I like that.
You like that?
Fuck you, Merriam-Webster.
I've-
You.
I
I-
create
no, I don't
I
even
create
know.
my own shit up in here.
It's a word-tastic adventure with Phil and Travis.
But you know, there could be some things that she didn't account for, and that could be causing some of the pressures of, you know, expanding the wood and stuff, which could be the footsteps.
Well, and a lot of people I've seen a lot of people theorize the whole thing of like just how fucking crazy the house is in general is gonna kind of naturally add to the mystique of the whole thing.
Right.
Like, and like, because the only thing that I really found is you hear reports of knocking and footsteps and all this shit. The only things that I found, like, that people actually talked about specifically were a bell ringing that the neighbors could hear at midnight and 2 a.m. that was said to mark when the spirits that haunted Sarah Winchester arrived and departed. Which is interesting, but that sounds kind of fucking stupid to me. Only 3 mirrors were allowed to be in this house. Total.
Well,
She only allowed 3.
I think that's kind of goes along with the spiritualism time frame that she lived in.
Well, my thing, it adds up if everything's actually happening to her. It adds up because if you know you're running from ghosts at all time or spirits at all time, fuck no, you're not going to want a fucking mirror.
Right.
Because you walk past that mirror and you're going to see what's behind you. They'll let you see it. You know what I mean? If they're there.
Right.
And then other than that, the only thing that I found was about the blue room, the seance room.
Right.
It's supposed to be the most haunted. Supposedly the seance room, and some believe it's a portal for visitors from another dimension.
Which is very possible. And
Yeah.
not
Unless
to
she's doing fucking seances in there like 2 or 3 times a week. Yeah. Like,
and not to shit on the paranormal activity at this place completely. Having a seance room is kind of a big deal.
yeah.
And with all the seances that were probably done, since you have a whole room dedicated to
Yeah.
seances, that could have attracted some definite paranormal energy.
And to the point that the only other thing I have on the blue room is that it was rumored that she always wore one of 13 distinctive colored robes while she was in there. And she was the only person allowed in the blue room unless invited by her.
So she kept the 13 theme even with her moo-moos.
Yeah.
I lose all respect.
I mean, she also go fuck herself 13 times.
Maybe she did.
I was about to say,
But-
maybe that's how she, you got to get comfortable in a room before you can fall asleep in it. And when you're sleeping in a different fucking room 40 nights in a row because there's 40 goddamn bedrooms, somebody's got to be flicking that bean.
No, but
Maybe you think since she was so innovative, you think she had one of the first vibrators? It was like one of those old Egyptians ones where they made it like out of stone and they just fucking cram a bunch of bees in there and seal them in there.
I guess possibly it'd be more beneficial than an elevator or a shitter that doesn't work. I mean, what the hell?
It was a BC, a big beacock.
Wow. How long do you think about that one?
I didn't. That's the beauty of it.
No, but where am I fucking?
She's buzzing with excitement. There you go. That's better.
Anyway.
She got that honey pot.
Here, let me look at those notes. I know you get that shit written down somewhere.
I don't. I'm just going. The only other thing I have that I don't think I've touched on is just, I mean, at this point, it's been on multiple TV shows, and there is a movie in Ermagerd. Helen Mirren's in it.
Oh, I did. I want to watch it.
I want to watch it. Because I heard like it's actually pretty good. If it's got Helen Mirren in it, it can't be shitty.
No.
Like, I'd fuck Helen Mirren.
Okay, that's...
For an older lady, Helen Mirren's hot. Okay. And she's British.
You know where she was hot? Where she was really hot when she was young? What was that? What was that? King Arthur.
Oh, yeah.
That original good one?
Yeah.
She played Marlon's sister.
Or Red. Because she's older, but she's shooting sniper rifles and shit.
Oh, yeah.
If you have a sniper rifle, you're automatically hotter.
There's nothing hotter than a woman.
Like, I'm more likely to fuck a dude if he's got a rifle in his hand.
Remind me to keep my gun safe locked up. No, let's get back on topic. Jesus. Some of the activity I can't discount completely. The apparitions, shadow figures.
Yeah.
That's a little bit harder to, not justify, but rationalize.
Mm-hmm. Especially considering that, like, most of the shit like that I saw was like tour guides or employees or caretakers or whatever the fuck you want to call them, which to me, like, you see all these people taking pictures and posting them on Instagram and shit like that from going on ghost tours. You're not the one that's going to see the crazy shit. It's going to be the person that's there all the time. Because my whole thing is, if those spirits are still there, and it's the spirits that were after Sarah Winchester because of the guns that her family created, they don't give a fuck anymore. She's gone.
Right.
And her end of the Winchester name ended with her. So either they moved on to the other Winchesters, or if they're still there, they're probably not going to, from what we understand, well, there's rules to ghosts, apparently. Like, they don't just show up all the time. Like, I don't see ghosts in the drive-thru at fucking Popeyes.
Right.
So you would imagine you'd have to be around and possibly, arguably, gain a trust almost with these spirits for them to want to actually physically manifest themselves to you in some way. Or else it would happen all the fucking time.
Right. But it's very possible that some of these seances really, there could be some activity there.
Yeah.
And it's an old house.
Especially when you're doing seances. Like, you're asking for it.
Yeah. And I even saw things, she definitely was not afraid of a Ouija board. There was Ouija boards used, which, I'm not a big proponent of the Ouija board. I don't buy the bullshit.
Zozo, he's coming for you.
I've used them and I seem all right.
Pick a cooler fucking name for the demon.
That's
Don't pick
true.
something so fucking easy to spell out on a goddamn Ouija board. It's 2 letters twice.
Yeah, I mean, I don't...
Make it Beelzebub. Like, that's hard to spell. You know what I mean? Then I'll be like, oh shit, this one is just... Like,
here's the thing about the Ouija board. What if the ghost is dyslexic?
what if it's like a mirror situation because they're in another dimension?
So
maybe everything's backwards.
Maybe Zozo's is Oz.
Oz. Maybe Zozo. Zozo is in fact Azazel. And he's retarded and dyslexic and he couldn't spell it.
Maybe.
I'm sorry, stupid.
Yeah.
Shit.
We're gonna get freaking banned.
Cancel culture.
They don't cancel us.
So you can't cancel us. We don't make any money off this shit.
And the 10 viewers that we get, or whatever.
Your mom. Dude, fucking. I'm not a bad influence. I just bring out his inner child.
Well,
Like Michael Jackson.
Once again, the gun safe is being locked. No, but I can't poo-poo on all this shit. I mean,
I don't think you ever can, unless you even I was gonna say unless you go there and do it yourself. But even if you do go there and do it yourself, like who fucking knows, dude? Like,
I don't know. It's just there's no doubt she was crazy.
Arguably, rightfully so.
Like a fox. Shouldn't say crazy. She was whacked out of her mind on pain pills. She has to be.
Yeah.
She had to be. No.
Well, and like the medium thing, like we shit on the medium thing almost every time, but like I can even wrap my head around it more in her scenario. Like you just buried the two most like closest, most important people that have ever been in your life in a short period of time. Yeah, she was probably looking to be able to cling on to fucking anything that anyone would give her to hold on to.
Right. So we're getting ready to close out this episode. Before we jump, because we're going to have to, then we're going to go to a Patreon episode, which was just going to be us shooting the shit. But
Yes.
I have to pee, so we're going to have to stop this.
I'm down. I'll smoke because I wouldn't mind smoking a cigarette.
What do you think? What do you think? Do you think this place is haunted?
I think there's something. There's got to be something. With the level of activity that she went out of her way to try to conjure up and bring in on her own with seances, to have a room dedicated to seances, in my mind, believing in this stuff the way I believe in it, there is no fucking way that there is never something going on. At least every once in a while, something's got to pass through and be like, I remember this place.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm big on that energy where if there is something there, it was drawn in by her activity, her probably pain and suffering from dealing with what she dealt with the loss of the baby, and who was six weeks old when she passed.
And she, from what the disease does, she basically got to spend 6 weeks watching her kid just waste away to death.
So that negative energy could have imprinted on the area, or on when she imprinted on her, and she carried that to California when she went there. So I can't necessarily say, what was that?
Motorcycle. Dropping a gear.
I can't, I'm not going to say this is the most haunted place in the world.
No.
But there is a good possibility there is some residual energy or some energy that has attracted some sort of activity.
Yeah, and I'm not going to poo-poo the idea that something may have had something to do with the Winchester rifles.
See,
because my thing with that is like, the only way I can make that somewhat legitimate in my mind is the use of those rifles against the Native American population.
Yeah, because,
just because, like, if you believe in spirituality and shit like that, they were leaps and bounds ahead of us, even as primitive as they may have been, as far as spirituality and a connection to the earth goes and shit like that.
Right.
But that's pretty much the only, I don't even want to say legitimacy, that's like the only little sidebar thing that I could throw into the Winchester family having, or the Winchester rifle and the Winchester Repeating Arms Company having anything to do with this shit.
Right. So I don't know. I'm not going to. There's a good chance, but I just don't. I can't get on board with it.
Again, man, we say it every time. And without going there, we'll never fucking know. Right. Unless somebody shows a video and somebody's like, 100% I can tell you this isn't doctor, and it's like a ghost like ripping off a fucking lady's head and like spitting down her neck or some shit. Which, like in the army now. Which
I'm gonna say bullshit too. I will not buy any video or audio that I'm not going to take it at face value.
Right.
Unless I'm the one in the video, or I took the video, or I took the recording.
Right.
Because I know what can be done and how it can be altered. And I know I wouldn't do it.
Right.
So I just... You're right. You have to experience it for yourself. There's nothing you could see or hear via those mediums that's going to be 100% proof.
Yeah,
so, I don't know.
And like I said, it's a fucking Scooby-Doo mystery house, so it's going to play tricks on your head anyway.
I think that house would also have kind of like with all the rooms and turns, it could have a fun house effect on you. Yeah. So that very well could play into some of the activity.
And what I also thought of, just a real quick throw in, especially back when it was running off of this, it had gas lighting and all that shit and had its own gas production facility. who's to say how properly fitted all that piping was, and that there wasn't just the smallest little bit of natural gas or whatever the fuck they
carbon
used back then
monoxide.
coming in.
Yeah, yeah.
And there you go. You got a crazy bitch walking around a big house after that.
Right. That is a good point.
I don't fucking know though. It was 100 years ago. Like nobody fucking knows.
Okay, we are going to get out of here for the regular episode. If you want to join or hear the Patreon version, which we will record after I go relieve myself.
If you're cool and you like orgies, you'll get on the Patreon, pussies.
You're killing me. Go to patreon.com/GITM podcast and become a Patreon, and you will get bonus material and these extra Patreon segments that we do after the Sunday live stream recordings. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at night_ghost. Naturally, YouTube, Ghost in the Night. Facebook. Our Facebook page is Ghost in the Night. What else we got? T-shirts. You can get a T-shirt. Support the podcast at shop.spreadshirt.com/GITN dash paranormal dash merch. So those are all of our links. What do we got coming up next? Sunday. What are we going to do Thursday, you think?
I don't know. We've tossed around a couple ideas, but I don't think one of us is really...
We'll talk about it on the Patreon.
Yeah.
Next Sunday, you want to do the big one?
The West Memphis 3?
Yeah.
I'm down, but like I can almost... We're either going to run real far over what we normally do. I mean, we did it here, but like I'm talking... That could easily turn into 3 or 4 hours of conversation. There's so much going on with that thing. But don't get me wrong, I'm 100% down, but...
We'll talk about it. We'll figure it out. That's pretty much going to be it. I think we're done. We're going to go to Patreon. If you would like to hear more of our lovely voices, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review however you take in the podcast, whether iHeart, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts.
Pretty much fucking everything.
Yep. Rate and review. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube page because, like I said, I want to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We did get a few. We picked up a few this week, which thank you for that.
Yeah, I'm trying to get on my job with this. I'm the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart.
What else we got? I think that's going to be it. Any final words?
Sarah Winchester has the coolest fucking house I've ever seen.
Yes. All right.
I want to go there and I literally want to go there and just see what fucking happens, where you end up. Like, I'm going to go to the bathroom. Oh, fuck, I'm outside.
Oh, let's go ahead and announce this now. Next Saturday, we are going to Raw's Opera House.
Yes.
Travis is coming on investigation. We are going to be doing a bonus episode live from Raw's Opera House. It'll probably be around midnight, so we'll talk more about that.
I believe we talked about. I think it will be in night vision.
No, that's not going to be this time.
No?
We're going to go back.
Okay. Yeah.
With it's a little bit smaller crew.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be a little bit busier. Where there's going to be 10. 50.
That would be fun too. Could you imagine Sid in the dark trying to like talk about stuff?
Right.
Dude, I'm bringing a pocket full of something and I'm just gonna chuck shit like every 5 minutes.
But when we go back, hopefully I'll have the night vision working to where we can live stream it.
Yeah.
But we are going to go live this Saturday around midnight, somewhere around there. We're gonna have to play with that time, kind of how we go live now with regular lighting. But we might come back off and on. We're going to do an actual episode where we're going to talk about Raw's Opera House, I think, or on Saturday night, and then we might come back and do little updates on what we've experienced that night. So subscribe to the YouTube channel by Saturday.
Yes. to get the good shit.
Yep. So that's going to wrap it up. Thank you for listening. Thank you for putting up with our dumb, immature asses. And we will see you next week. Take care, everybody.
Peace.